Good morning. Eamon from Ashland Farm on a Saturday morning here in my own office, putting up another YouTube video on retirement. And before we start, and again, I'd just like the people to subscribe and support and like my YouTube videos, because that definitely helps us to put up more contents and more information about retirement. And a lot of it, I'm going to put up a lot of stuff. I'm going to do a program with you over the next couple of weeks on retirement and what we do to live an active retirement. Before we start, a neighbour of mine died there during the week, and we buried him. I think it was a Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday this week. I think it was Wednesday. He was 80. He was in his 83 years. He was a bachelor, worked on a farm and ran his own farm as well. A man that was described by the priest, a simple countryman. What did he mean by a simple countryman? We all can get our different meanings from those statements. But what do you want the priest or the concelebrant at your funeral or your family or friends to remember you by? What legacy do you want to leave behind you? Or is that even important? For most people, it's not particularly important. When they're dead, they're dead. But what do you want to do to have an active retirement? We're starting talking about retirement. We're going to explore that whole area. And I suppose there's a few different areas in it. You can ponder and ask all these questions. What do you want to leave behind you? How much money do you want to leave behind you? What legacy do you want to leave behind you? But the most important question you have to answer yourself is what you want to do from now until then. You have 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years of retirement. How do you want to live that out? As I'm always speaking about the bridge and about people, up again 90 and 91 playing bridge. We're going to celebrate one of our players. We can't do it next week. She's away, and this week she was away as well. But I think when the Fla's over, which we're stopping 1 week for the Fla, but around the 17th, 17th, 18th, Friday night, we're going to have a little party in the Bridge Centre for a woman celebrating her 90th birthday. We'll still have our cards and all the rest, but look, we'll have a cake and a cup of tea and a few sandwiches and a few bits and bobs like that, and maybe a glass of wine or whatever. And we're going to celebrate her 90th birthday. As far as I know, she had a good, active retirement. But we just don't want to reach the age of 90 and realise that we have an active or an inactive life. So maybe to start out of how we develop this program going forward, there is your health to be looked after. You need to set out a plan what you're going to do. You need to plan out where you travel and holidays and where you want to see. And you also need to talk about finance. Most of us spend most of our time looking after our health or our finance in retirement. And the two pieces in the middle we forget about. But today I'm going to dwell on retirement. Or sorry, in your retirement I'm going to dwell on the health area now. And I said this before in a video, and I'm going to keep repeating this. The first thing you need to do when you retire is go and have a full medical. And if there's some little thing to be done, or some medication you need to go on, or you need to be like me, lose in a program at the minute of losing weight, which I'm doing very slowly through Herbal Life, and doing exercise, and I'm going to keep you up to speed with that. As you know by looking at me, I'm way too heavy, and it is hard on the body. But I'm going to work on that, and I expect to do it quite slowly. I don't want to make drastic changes. I want to do something very gradually so that I'm able to continue to do it. I'm able to do whatever is in your mind. Your mind controls your eating habits. It's not your hunger, it's not anything, it's your mind. And I need to work on my mind to get that into a place that I'm eating less and taking more exercise and looking after myself. I have got my shoulder done, which I'm a bit hampered at the minute for the amount of work I can do on my farm. You know, it's only limited movement in my shoulder at the minute, but I'm doing the physio and doing the exercise I'm supposed to do, and it's going to be slow. There's a lot of damage done to it. That's enough about me. What you need to do is go and have your full medical. And if that means, you know, you have to pay a few pounds, you have to go to the Mala Private, or you have to go to the Blackrock Clinic or the Beacon, or you go to your private doctors, or wherever you go to. I'm not plugging for any of those private places. And if you're in the public, go and look to see what can you get done under your medical card or under the public system. There's some very good practices out there at the minute that will do a huge range of tests and blood tests and all the rest. So go and get those done and get them all checked out, and make sure there's nothing lurking inside in you, that it was picked up in time, can be treated and dealt with, and that you live an active life. So please pick up the phone Monday morning. This is going out on Saturday. Monday morning this week. Make an appointment with your GP and take it from there. If you need to go to a dietitian or somebody to deal with your weight, if you're a bit heavy like me, and go and do it. I have joined the gym again in Mullingar Park Hotel. It's absolutely beautiful place. I went in there in the afternoon, and at the minute I can't do work upstairs with weights or anything like that, but there's loads I can do in the pool. I walk for about 40-45 minutes in the pool, up and down the pool, and I find it absolutely brilliant. And then you can go into the sauna and the steam room and the jacuzzi, chat people. It's very social as well. But looking around there, the amount of people that's carrying a lot of weight, particularly men that has, as they call them, beer bellies, not necessarily all beer bellies, but that amount of weight around the gut. And experts tell you that is really the worst type of weight you can have on. So let's start out with this video, number 1, of making an appointment. Go to your GP. Go and get all your tests done, your x-rays, your bloods, your ECGs, whatever needs to be done. And if there's some help you need to get, some treatment, go and do it. Some people they might feel a bit down and a little bit, we say, lonely or depressed over retirement, and they feel their life is spent and maybe go home into a situation that maybe the marriage is not in the best, situation, or you could be on your own. You could be widow or widower. You could be separated, or you could be just a single person all your life, and you go home now 7 days a week to an empty house. You might need some help or counselling for that. So don't be a bit afraid. Whatever part of you feels unwell, go and do it. And umbrella upon it as well, both for males and females, and particularly if you're in a relationship. Do you have any issues got to do with sexuality, or men definitely suffers a bit when they get older, and that. And I want to keep this video as PC as humanly possible, but they might certainly need help or advice in that whole area. Women might want to seek some advice as well in that area, in connection with after the menopause and all the rest. And I'll be discussing more about that later on, but I want to keep this early ones as PC as humanly possible. But whatever area of your life it is, that'll be from your big toe to the top of your head and everything included, to make your life an active and a happiest retirement that you possibly can. And that when you're called from this life, that you can look back and say you poured it on, you done your best, you had a good retirement. We'll be talking more about how you think into a more positive mental state, what you can do to think to become more positive, what you can do to become more active. So I want you to tune in every couple of days to me, and I'll be putting up about maybe 12 or 16 videos on retirement. And after that, I'll be constantly talking and linking in my own experience with my farm and all that as well into the videos. I'm going to ask you to share this around. I want to expand my listenership. So the only way I can do it is with your help. Tell your friends, share it with your friends, and we can build up a community that we can help one another through this most exciting part of our lives, when we have the time, a bit of money, and the health to enjoy it. Eamon from Ashland Farm, signing off and wishing the best team in that Ireland Hurl football final tomorrow the best. I'm not a big fan of the GAA, not a big fan. I'm not a big sporty person, but I'll be having a monitoring view, and that's something that a lot of people in retirement enjoys, it's sport. So hopefully it's a good and enjoyable game for everybody. Make the phone call Monday morning, send the email, send the text to your GP, and start the ball rolling. Eamon from Ashland Farms, signing off.